Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. I'd like you to close your eyes for a moment. Unless you're driving, in which case, maybe don't close your eyes. Or do whatever, that's your call. But just imagine being an idiot and believing Bitcoin is technologically superior to XRP in that it has some sort of technological moral high ground. Yes, moral high ground. Well, I'm going to share with you some nonsense from the world of Bitcoin maximalism, because as far as I'm concerned, Bitcoin maximalism is the greatest virus in the world of crypto. Or called a disease, I don't care. It's nonsense, it's garbage, it shouldn't exist. And it's so ideologically driven, and it's silly jibber jabber, hoo-ha, and horsepucky, if you ask me. So there's a well-known individual named Mark Ross, and on his Twitter profile here, he's got quite a following. Now, I'm not familiar with him, but I'm sure some of you are. He's got a notable following here, 125,100 followers, and he described himself as a student of history, sound money advocate, freedom maximalist, financial sovereignty, hashtag Bitcoin, nationally syndicated radio show on iHeartRadio and YouTube show. So there you go. So he seems to be pretty well known here. And I saw a lot of people that were responding, calling him a Bitcoin maximalist. And I don't know if he's self-described as that, but he sure as hell sounds like one from what I've seen. And it's just another one of those instances where there's somebody, in this case, somebody with apparently a notable audience, who has strong opinions about something for which he's not sufficiently informed, so he shouldn't have the confidence. The confidence he has is ill-placed, and he's just factually incorrect. And it seems to be from a place where he believes that he's coming from a moral high ground because of a specific technology, and it's weird. It's just weird. So we're going to rip this to shreds today. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so this is kicked off in a tweet yesterday from Mark Moss, and he wrote the following. Imagine, oh, by the way, you can open your eyes now if you haven't done that yet, especially if you're driving. I think that's advisable. It's your call. It's your call. But he says, imagine being in the XRP army and hanging your entire bull thesis on helping banks transfer money faster. Instead of embracing Bitcoin, freedom money. And then he's got a facepalm emoji. Now, let me ask, all you out there listening, how many of my fellow XRP holders out there have your entire thesis, your entire reason for holding XRP as helping banks transfer money? That's your entire reason. I know zero of you are raising your hands. That's my guess. I know I can't actually see all of you out there. My guess is 0% of humans out there are raising their hand because there are a lot of reasons to hold XRP. And the fact that XRP is successfully positioned by Ripple to help the legacy financial system is a positive. But look, we're going to break this down because he doesn't understand the degree to which his position is hypocritical, because Bitcoin is being used to help the legacy financial system. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so let's go through this in order. There's an individual named Courtney who responded to Mark Moss and had the response that a lot of us out there in the XRP community have. And mind you, like, I'm pro-Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin. I have since 2017. I'm pro-Bitcoin. I'm pro-ETH. I'm pro-XRP. I hold about 30 different coins. I'm just not a maximalist, because being a maximalist is a stupid way to go through life. It's just a dumbass way to go through life. And so Courtney wrote, wow, I've followed you for a long time. At a time when the crypto community needs to come together for the future of the space, we have salty maxis creating the division they sought to disband in the first place. Disappointing. I need to heart that one. Spot on, Courtney. You're absolutely nailing it. Now, Mark Moss ended up responding. And by the way, in just a moment, I'm going to show you some of my responses, which I feel highly confident he saw because they got some traction, but he was completely silent. He never wrote back to me. And that's fine. He doesn't owe me anything. But that in and of itself is kind of telling. I think that he realized that his argument maybe had some flimsy legs. You know what I'm saying here? But he did respond to Courtney. And he said, we, the people, need to come together. And he wrote come together in quotes for some reason. Okay. And then he said, we need to come together to hold on and fight to maintain our freedom of private property and ability to communicate. Some tech enables this, like Bitcoin, and some tech enables the rulers to hold on to power. Yes, we need to come together, but choose your side. And again, this is hilarious because he's viewing, you'll see, XRP is helping the banks and Bitcoin as fighting against the banks, when both Bitcoin and XRP are being used to help banks in the legacy financial system. He doesn't even know this. He's just saying stuff. He's saying stuff. He's got a radio show nationally syndicated. He's just saying things. It's fine. Okay. Courtney responded and said, I agree with most of your statement, Mark. I'm pro-freedom too. I hold Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, etc. I can't wrap my head around why there is only one way. I like Bitcoin. I like the utility of XRP. And it could help bank the unbanked and speed up money velocity. Why can't we fight for both? And I'm going to heart that one too. Spot on, Courtney. Exactly, because you're being a reasonable, rational person who didn't drink the Kool-Aid, who is just taking a completely reasonable approach. And you clearly, Courtney clearly, is not ideologically driven. But if you're ideologically driven and you drank the Kool-Aid, this is how you get to these positions. So Mark Moss wrote back to her one final time and said, XRP is for banks. Bitcoin is to be your own bank. And again, this is stuff that is not true. XRP is just a decentralized cryptocurrency that was invented to be a better version of Bitcoin, more technologically advanced. That was the intent. Ripple didn't exist when XRP was created. It wasn't clear how XRP might be used, if at all, but it was created. It was faster technologically. Additional bells and whistles, built-in decentralized exchange. You could create IOUs, which are now just known as tokens, and then ETH came after XRP, and then you could create tokens on ETH as well. Anyway, so Matt Hamilton, former Ripple employee, wrote back and said, you realize the whole point of XRP is to be able to transfer value without banks, right? Like, that is the whole point of crypto. Spot on, Matt Hamilton. And I wrote back to him and I said, this is first of a few tweets I had to him. I wrote, I'm assuming, and by the way, this was seen 10,600 times, 372 likes, 30 retweets. And this is in a reply, so I don't know if you all know how the Twitter algorithm works, but the main tweet is the one that is more likely to get highlighted constantly in people's news feeds, if that's what you call it. It's a news feed. And the replies to those original tweets get less traction. So there's no way I was ever going to get as many views as his, but still, it's not nothing here. That would have been constantly popping up in his notifications. How could he not have noticed there's this Moon Family Sedan guy who keeps lighting up in his news feed? And this is just one of the tweets. There's more. I'm going to show you. So what I wrote in response to his original tweet is the following. I'm assuming you don't know this and probably won't like this, but XRP and the XRP ledger are currently being used as layer 2 technology by Spend the Bits to move Bitcoin instantly, since its layer 1 technology is slow and inferior. No Lightning Network needed. So there you go. You have this, what he claims is an XRP for the banks, which is XRP and XRP Ledger both literally being used to move Bitcoin instantaneously today. It's not a science experiment. It's happening right now. How much do you want to bet he's clueless of the fact that XRP, which he's ripping on here, is helping to ensure the long-term viability of his beloved Bitcoin? How much you want to bet he doesn't have a clue of that? Yup. I'm willing to bet that's the case. Then in a separate tweet, and this is frankly more damning. Like, things are not going to get better for Mark Moss as we go through this video. It's not going to get better. He just doesn't know what he's talking about. So then I responded to him with this tweet also. Bitcoin is being positioned to help legacy banking by Strike/Jack Mallers, just like Ripple is doing with XRP. I'll just pause and note, I'm sure most of you have heard at this point, but there's a company called Strike run by this guy who always wears a hoodie apparently, and his name is Jack Mallers. And within the last couple of years or so, I can't remember exactly what the timeline is, I remember when he initially put out this demo of using this technology, and it was basically a demo of what Ripple was doing back in probably 2015. And literally using Bitcoin as a bridge currency, using Lightning Network. So he started with an inferior tech stack. That's what he wanted to do, probably because of ideological reasons. He's all about Bitcoin, bro. But he started with an inferior tech stack, whereas Ripple started with a superior tech stack utilizing XRP and the XRP ledger. But again, he can do what he wants. let those that are fit, can fight and win. That's fine. I'm all about capitalism. But so anyway, there's a company that just popped up and they're trying to do the same thing as Ripple, at least in that capacity. Now, Strike is trying to do some additional things that Ripple's not trying to do. So there's not perfect overlap. They're not 100% competing. But Ripple's the company with the traction. XRP is quickly becoming the standard for in terms of means as a bridge currency, and it's one of the more liquid cryptos out there on top of that. And even though Bitcoin's more liquid, by the way, it doesn't matter because you have to have sufficient amount of Bitcoin set in those payment channels on Lightning Network. So Bitcoin's overall global liquidity isn't helping it. But anyway, without getting into further nuts and bolts. So I wrote, Bitcoin is being positioned to help legacy banking by Strike/Jack Mallers, just like Ripple is doing with XRP. So let's flip your statement to illustrate your absurdity. Imagine being a Bitcoin maxi and hanging your entire bull thesis on helping banks transfer money faster. So folks, that sounds stupid, doesn't it? Is there any Bitcoin maxi that's hanging their entire bull thesis on helping banks transfer money faster? I think the answer is no one's doing that, not solely. Now, some are betting on Bitcoin being used successfully as a bridge currency, helping the legacy financial system. And if it gets traction, they're great. I'm a Bitcoin holder too. I don't mind that. I'm all about competition anyway. But all I had to do was put Bitcoin in place of XRP to illustrate the absurdity of what he's saying because they're both being positioned for the same purpose. XRP and Bitcoin both being positioned as a bridge currency. He doesn't even know that, I'm guessing. I have to guess that. And so actually, just before recording this video, I tweeted to him again and I said, here is Bitcoin helping banks transfer money faster, in quotes, just like he had written there, quite literally. Will you now acknowledge your Bitcoin maxi position is incoherent? Now, I don't think he will, but I linked to this article from Yahoo Finance from January 31st of this year, and I want to cover just a small bit of it because it illustrates the exact point that I'm making. Bitcoin is being used today to help the legacy financial system, and if Jack Mallers gets his way with his Strike company, it will become dominant, and Ripple will go out of business, and XRP won't be used for this, and Bitcoin will get all of the market share if Jack Mallers gets his way. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, but the point is, Bitcoin is the banker's coin in that case, is it not? Isn't it a banker's coin now because it's helping banks? Duh. If you're going to say XRP is, you have to say the same is true of Bitcoin. If you're going to be intellectually honest. But this isn't about intellectual honesty. It's about saying a thing, feeding to his Bitcoin maxi base, and that's it. Piece reads as follows. Digital payments firm Strike is expanding its international money transfer service that runs on Bitcoin's Lightning Network to the Philippines. In a push to tap into the country's $12 billion remittance market, one of the world's largest. The remittance service, Send Globally, that's the name, will be available in the Philippines starting Tuesday, according to a press release. It runs on the Lightning Network, a Layer 2 scaling solution that enables cheaper and faster Bitcoin transactions. Funds sent via the service from abroad can be received as local currency in the recipient's bank or mobile money account, according to the release. So there you go. You could use Ripple's technology in conjunction with XRP and the XRP ledger and on-demand liquidity, or you could use Strike technology in conjunction with Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. It says it right there on the damn screen, and this is just one of like an endless number of articles that has covered this over the years. He doesn't even know this. Maybe he could have tricked people with this BS narrative about XRPs for the banks and Bitcoins not about half a decade ago, but good luck doing that in 2023. And does he think that we don't have Webernets, Internet, and the Googles? Does he think that we can't use our little fat little fingers and search for shit? I don't know. It really steams my vegetables, folks. Article continues. Strike has made waves through its work with El Salvador to support Bitcoin as legal tender in that Central American country. Now, its goal is to upend the traditional multi-billion-dollar remittance industry, which it says is plagued by high fees and slow processing times, by leveraging Lightning's low-cost and near-instant payments. Here's a quote now from Jack Mallers, CEO of Strike, founder and CEO. When you think cross-border, you don't think very fast, very cheap, and very good experience. We're using Bitcoin's Lightning Network under the hood to achieve some stuff that has never been possible before, end quote. Well, that's literally not true because XRP was doing it over half a decade ago. So that part's not true, but it is true that Bitcoin And the Lightning Network is being used for this exact same damn purpose. This is fun. It's fun to rip this crap to shreds. This is what you get when you say stuff out in public on a massive platform with conviction that is just ideologically driven nonsense. Because look, it's okay to be wrong. I'm wrong. You're wrong. This guy's clearly wrong here. But it's best, like, because he has to know he's not well informed on XRP because he hasn't done any research clearly. Because otherwise he wouldn't have the opinions, presumably. So if you're being an intellectually honest person, you'd say things like, I think, or I suppose so and so. Especially if you're communicating openly and you're just trying to get to the truth, you don't have to know everything. And it's okay to think something's true that is not true. This is different. You guys can see that, right? This guy drank the damn Kool-Aid. And to be in that position, this isn't somebody that's new to crypto. This is a nationally syndicated individual, okay? This is of a different caliber. So it's like, we can all be wrong, and that's fine. I put this in a different category of I don't care, facts be damned, I'm not intellectually honest. If he were intellectually honest, he'd come and say, oh, wow, I didn't know all of these things. What's he doing? Crickets. He's not being intellectually honest. It's a different category. Being wrong is fine, but this is different. This is ideology. That's what this is. It's not about facts. He wasn't interested in facts. He didn't want to find the facts. He probably didn't know this stuff. Because there's a different whole, like there are some people fine where they research it and then they'll just know that something is against their financial interests and they'll just lie about it. He could be doing that, but I think what's more likely is he probably just doesn't know, but he has these publicly facing strong opinions, which are a bunch of nonsense. Then there was this from attorney John Deaton, and he wrote, he retweeted Mark Moss, and he said, who started this whole thing, and John Deaton wrote, imagine having an opinion about the motivations of a very diverse group of people without having a clue about what motivates those people. Exactly. He has not a clue. If he were following the SEC v. Ripple case, for example, he'd know about the amicus brief, so there are all sorts of firms that were talking about why XRP is important to them. Not just spin the bits, but, tap jets, for example. Then there was this from Bill Morgan, attorney and member of the XRP community. He also retweeted that from Mark Moss and wrote, imagine having such little confidence in a crypto that has the advantage of being first in time and is the only one the SEC does not call a security, that you would even bother to take the time to criticize another one and then get the facts all wrong anyway. That's a good point. Certainly Bitcoin first mover advantage. What are you so afraid of? If XRP is such crap, like, why is it even worth your time to tweet about it? Of course, he's got the facts wrong, though. Maybe he is afraid of it. I don't know. I don't know what the rationale is here. But, my gosh. Look, criticism is fine. I don't mind criticism, but XRP is not perfect. It once halted. I acknowledge that. It's a fair critique that Ripple holds a bunch of XRP. I personally don't care, but the critique's fair. It doesn't have smart contracts on layer one. That's fine. But it's a fair critique, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'll acknowledge that XRP can't do everything. It can't literally do everything, and that's fine. And there are shortcomings. So what? It doesn't mean it's not amazing. Look at all the stuff it actually does. Look at the actual support. It's one of the most adopted and used cryptocurrencies on the entire damn planet. But still, we have Mark Moss putting out this complete and utter crap. It grinds my gears, folks. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, family sedan.